What if I told you NASA plans to build a nuclear reactor on the moon by 2030? This isn't science fiction, it's very real. A 100 kilowatt fission reactor, designed to be buried beneath the lunar surface, quietly humming with power, day and night. But why nuclear? Why the moon? And what aren't they telling us? This story is not just about energy. It's about power, politics, and a future that feels more like a warning than a plan. Imagine a landscape bathed in silence. A place where the sun disappears for 2 full weeks. Yet beneath it all, a reactor, silently working, unseen and unstoppable. NASA, together with the US Department of Energy, recently awarded contracts to private companies tasked with developing this nuclear surface power system. The goal? To establish a reliable energy source on the moon, one that won't falter when the sun vanishes. The south pole of the moon is one of the most extreme environments in the solar system. Sunlight comes and goes. Temperatures plunge below -200 degrees Celsius. Solar energy alone can't cut it. That's where nuclear power comes in. But this isn't a simple solar backup. This is nuclear energy, operating far from Earth. It represents a turning point, not just for exploration, but for how humanity asserts its presence in deep space. This isn't the first time we've used nuclear energy in space. In the 1960s, NASA launched the SNAP-10A, the first US nuclear reactor in orbit. The Soviet Union followed with dozens of similar missions. These were small, experimental. But they paved the way. Now, decades later, the ambition is bigger, a full-scale lunar reactor to power human outposts, rovers, and possibly even large-scale mining equipment. Why the sudden urgency? Because we're not alone in the race anymore. China has launched change missions to study the moon's surface and collect samples. They've expressed plans to build a permanent lunar base by the 2030s. Russia has discussed nuclear-powered spacecraft and revived its own lunar aspirations. Private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin are developing launch vehicles and lunar landers, opening the door to commercial exploitation of the moon. It's becoming clear, the moon isn't just a place to visit anymore. It's a place to claim. So what exactly will this reactor do? NASA's prototype will provide 40 kilowatts of continuous power, enough to run life support systems, communication arrays, and scientific labs. It's designed to run independently for at least 10 years, buried deep enough to protect it from radiation and micrometeorites. But once built, that reactor becomes infrastructure, the kind of infrastructure that enables long-term habitation. Or dominance. Imagine a future lunar base powered by that reactor. Then imagine 2 bases, one American, one Chinese, built within sight of each other. In the vacuum of space, politics doesn't go away. It gets sharper. And of course, the conspiracy theories are already swirling. Some believe the reactor isn't just for future astronauts, but for something already on the moon. Structures. Signals. Buried objects. These claims are speculative, and NASA denies them, but in the absence of transparency, speculation thrives. Others worry about what happens if something goes wrong. A meltdown on the moon may not threaten Earth, but it could contaminate valuable ice reserves or make landing zones dangerous for decades. So here's what we know. NASA wants to put a nuclear reactor on the moon. It's permanent. It's powerful. And it's the first step toward claiming the lunar frontier. But behind every official goal is an unofficial motive. The new space race isn't just about who gets there first. It's about who stays, and who controls what's already there. If you want to uncover more space secrets, shadow projects, and the untold stories of the cosmos, subscribe now. And tell me, what do you think this reactor is really for? Drop your theories in the comments below. I'll be watching.